This is Just Nigeria coming up today. It's the aftermath of the EndSARS protests. We highlight ways to manage mixed feelings and emotions following the unrest in some parts of the country. Also, passion for change. We'll meet the photographer documenting stories of internally displaced persons in Nigeria. And we meet the women saving the lives of pregnant women and babies in their community. Plus,
Hi, I'm Adezin Wadike. Check me out.
The communications expert providing solutions for the empowerment and development of women in Africa. Welcome to Just Nigeria, brought to you by the BBC and Channels TV. And here on the program, we look at the stories making the rounds on social media. I am Wale Fakile. Let's start the program with our top story for today. Now, following days of protests and violence in parts of the country, there are concerns about the impact these happenings could have on people psychologically. Some health experts have also worried about the mental health of many young Nigerians who have had to live through these experiences directly or through social media. And now to give some perspective on the long-term effect of this trauma, let's hear from Dr. Memuna Kajeri, a psychiatrist and mental health advocate.
You own it to yourself to make sure that your mental health is prioritized above everything. Because at the end of the day, if you become dysfunctional, it will affect you. It's amazing to understand that a country that has been known to have be among the people that are the happiest in the world, and of course that are very resilient, at this point in time, we are collectively traumatized. We received numerous calls in hundreds, and the fact that that was so overwhelming just for we, the people working behind the scenes, and other people, it was really emotionally draining. People were calling in just to find closure. People were calling just because they were fearful. They don't understand what will happen, that was coming, because the fear was just too real. Quite a number of us out there have seen a lot of gully pictures and videos. And the sad part of this is that these images, you cannot unsee them. Neither can you, turn the tables around. The images are imprinted into our minds and brains. And this is invoking and triggering a lot of emotional issues, with the fact that some of us are even beginning to have nightmares, or you may just even sit down and you just be weeping, because the emotions in the air is so toxic. And because we do understand that emotions are contagious, it's getting to you, even if you were not at the protest ground or you don't even know anybody that's there. But for these videos and pictures, you can't even fathom how you are feeling right now. Yes, I want to assure you, your emotions are valid. And what you are going through right now, they are normal. But let me reassure you that if for any reason days goes by, you still feel like this, it is time for you to seek for help. Please, this is not the time for you to be in denial as an individual. And also, this is not the time for you to trivialize anybody's issues. Understand that we cope differently. And if anybody around you is expressing him or herself, don't go around doubting the individual or trivializing it. So if you know anybody or yourself, you feel sad, you feel depressed, sometimes you're even angry about the whole situation, please, it's time for you to speak up and speak out. Don't just sit down and just assume everything will be wished away. You can wipe it away and you'll be okay. Some people will be okay because we cope differently, but understand that some people may feel so bad that they may need some professional help. Please, I encourage you to kindly seek for professional help.
All right, still dwelling on the effects of the unrest on our mental health. Now, it is common knowledge that we have all been exposed to negative emotions and varying levels of stress, and these can be harmful to our health. There's also the possibility that many could be suffering post-traumatic stress disorders, panic attacks, and mental breakdown. To address these specific issues, I also had a chat with Dr. Memuna to provide tips on how to handle anxiety and mental exhaustion. Have a look. I was at the Lekki toll gate, the penultimate Saturday before the incident of the 20th of October. And since then, for me, there's this raw fear that I experienced. For some others, it's sleeplessness, anxiety. So how can people like us who lived through this incident, who were there, protesters, journalists, how can we cope with some of these things that we're feeling right now?
It's quite sad that what has happened has happened. We can't change anything. But let me assure everyone out there that our emotions are valid, and what anyone is currently going through is normal. Because when you pass through any traumatic experience, you would go through, stages, a roller coaster of emotions, from what you talked about now, not sleeping well, anxiety, the fear of the unknown. But again, because we heal differently and we cope differently, people need to check themselves from who they were yesterday as against who they are today. So that when it becomes more intense, it's affecting their day-to-day activities, they should please ask for help.
So let's drive it home now on the part of those who were at the front lines.
Exactly.
What are some of these practical tips or steps that's for the protesters who were there at the protest grounds and for those who saw the gory images on their phones, on their devices? What are some of these practical things that they can do in their homes?
First, identify what the problem is. So you as an individual, self-awareness. Some people are telling themselves right now that, why did I even go for the protest? Rather than saying such things, flip those thoughts and tell yourself, what am I learning during this period? What is this period teaching me? We all know there's a huge benefit to exercising. So we have these hormones in us, but they are kind of quiet and silent. But when you exercise, it boosts it, and then you can make you feel relaxed, feel renewed, and feel revitalized. You need, as much as possible, to limit your exposure to news and social media. Then, of course, find and engage in pleasurable activities. Yeah.
So let's talk about those who were directly impacted in all of this. There are people who have lost a loved one.
Yeah.
How can they cope with grieving right now? How best?
Grief is such a big thing right now. Try to talk to a counselor, somebody that will help you relieve the moment and talk about what happened. So talk about it and let the person help you go through the phase in such a way that when you heal, it's a healthy form of healing, so not necessarily maladaptive.
To unpack some of these emotions.
Yes, unpack them.
So let's talk about the other cast of people who were impacted in all of this. There were shops looted, private properties, goods worth millions have been lost. How can these people, they stay sane mentally right now? Because I can't imagine what they are going through right now.
In fact, being in business and understanding that some people have lost so much, and some of them in millions, just keep hope alive. It's difficult, I must say, but if you are alive, you can recoup, the resources and understand when you reach out, people really know exactly what you are going through.
So it's very important to reach out.
It is.
Let's talk about the police officers. How do you think some of these police officers are thinking right now? Do you think all of this would affect how they might relate with people, how they are thinking psychologically?
Obviously, they are human beings. So just the way you and I will go through this whole process is the same way. In fact, it may be worse in them because there's a searchlight on them. So the enormous pressure the ordinary police officer is facing out there will I be lynched if I wear my uniform? So that pressure in them, making a lot of them, feel boxed up in a place emotionally.
How would they have to bring themselves to a point where they can effectively discharge their responsibilities?
They need the police reform that we are talking about. Psychological evaluation is key. So that at the end of the day, those police officers that need immediate help and support will be taken care of immediately. Then the rest will be trained and told what they should face, what will come along and how they should face it and how to deal with it.
So let's talk about the social media now. There's what we obviously all know, and there's what we are seeing on social media. So how do you think this is playing all out? The contrast in what people believe they know and what they are seeing in the news on social media.
So fact versus assumptions, myth versus facts is another thing that is messing up our psychic right now. What we thought we knew, now as the days progresses, we are beginning to guess and second guess that maybe this wasn't really true. What I encourage everybody to do is that, please, fake news kills very fast. In fact, we are still in the COVID era, it kills faster than COVID-19. So what people should do right now is that whatever news you get, use the PVR technique. And what do I mean by that? Any news you get, pause. about this news. Look at it in whatever modality you got this news, whether you read it, you watch a video, or whatever. What we are experiencing is that fear, the anxiety, people doubting. And so what I encourage everybody to do is that, please, fake news kills very fast.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mimuna, for talking to us. I appreciate it. It's been eye-opening. It's been insightful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, too.